let's just jump right in. There's this quiet absurdity happening in education right now. A student can literally pull out their phone, say a few words, and get a perfectly good essay. But then you ask that same student a simple question like, hey, what's your actual argument here? And they just freeze. That paradox right there gets to the absolute heart of a massive shift in our world. And to really get a handle on this, let's do a little time travel. Picture it. It's 1985 and you're learning English. What are your tools? You've got a textbook, maybe a cassette tape that's been copied a few times, and if you're lucky, a teacher who once lived abroad. Getting your hands on real, authentic English was slow and super scarce. Okay, now snap back to today. Students are basically swimming in an ocean of English. Instant streaming, social media everywhere, and AI chatbots that can translate, summarize, or explain anything you throw at them in a split second. The whole game has been turned upside down. And this brings us right to our big idea, knowledge hyperinflation. So what does that mean? It means the value of simply knowing things is plummeting. It's like a currency that's suddenly worth pennies. We're all drowning in information and prepackaged explanations. The challenge, the scarcity has totally shifted. It's not about finding an answer anymore. It's about trying to figure out which of the million answers is useful, which one is trustworthy, and which one is actually right for the specific moment. I love this metaphor. Think of generative AI as a knowledge photocopier. It's perfect. You know how photocopiers made it incredibly cheap and easy to make endless copies of a document? Well, AI does the exact same thing for competent sounding text. It can spit out an email, a speech, a cover letter, anything really. And it's all just a clever remix of everything it's ever read. The cost is basically nothing and the supply is infinite. So what happens when competence, just being able to do something correctly, becomes cheap? Well, this is where the crisis hits the classroom. It really destabilizes the way we've always thought about learning and what it means to be skilled. And this is the question students are genuinely asking. I mean, can you blame them? They see this polished, perfect, instant output from a machine, and then they look at their own slow, messy, frustrating efforts. It's so demoralizing. If the main goal has always been to produce error-free work, and a machine can do it way better and faster, yeah, the motivation to do the hard work just starts to melt away. You know, this kicks off a really dangerous cycle. The AI becomes the go-to for homework, so students start using it to get the summary or the first draft, and what happens? Their own reading and writing muscles start to get weak. They atrophy. Homework isn't a chance to practice anymore. It's just this annoying hurdle you have to clear. And slowly, quietly, their confidence in their own voice just erodes. The fundamental skills just fade away. Now this chart, this shows us a really critical shift in what's actually valuable. When pretty much anyone can use AI to write correct English, that skill by itself stops being a special advantage. The value doesn't just vanish though, it moves. It shifts over to the things that are uniquely human. Taste, personality, your ethical compass, the ability to read a room. The important question is no longer, can you write correctly? It's, can you write something that isn't just generic? So this brings us to the most important question of all. In a world where basic information is cheap and competence can be automated, what's the new thing? What's the new scarce and valuable resource we should all be chasing? The answer? It's one word: judgment. It's that uniquely human ability to decide what matters and what to do next. An AI can generate 1,000 options, but it can't own a decision. It can't feel the consequences. That right there, that's the new human edge. Okay, so this ushers us into a brand new reality. We're now living and working in what you could call a judgment economy. Your value comes less from what you know and way more from your ability to make smart decisions with what you know. And you know what? Language learning, if we design it the right way, is the perfect training ground for exactly that. Just look at this example with two students, May and Daniel. It makes it so clear. May asks AI for a complete essay. She changes a few words, submits it, and she's done. She's outsourcing her judgment. She's handing in the AI's thinking. But Daniel, he does something different. He uses AI like a sparring partner. He asks for pros and cons, then he filters all that output through his own life experience, and then he writes his own draft. See the difference? He is practicing judgment. May is learning how to prompt, but Daniel is learning how to choose. And think about it. Every single time we communicate, we are just making a whole series of judgments. What should I say? How should I say it? Who am I even talking to? And maybe most importantly, why am I saying this and why now? An AI can spit out options for all of those, sure, but a human has to make that final call, especially when the stakes are high. Language isn't just about grammar. It's a constant flowing stream of choices. All right, so how do we actually teach this? How do we build this muscle? Well, one idea, a path forward, is a framework called Human 5. And the goal here is not to try and compete with AI. That's a losing game. The goal is to intentionally cultivate the human strengths that AI just can't touch. So here they are, the 5 core skills. First, you have taste, basically knowing that actually matters. Then momentum, the skill of building habits that last. Extreme agency. This one's huge. It's the willingness to actually start something, to lead, instead of just waiting for instructions. Next is learning velocity, how fast and flexibly you can adapt. And finally, intent and interruptibility. This is about holding on to your purpose while staying calm and poised under pressure. These, right here, are the new foundations for an education that prepares people to really thrive alongside AI. So the big takeaway is this. The whole purpose of language education is changing right under our feet. The old story of just learn to produce correct English is not enough anymore. We have to aim higher. The new purpose is so much deeper. We're not just teaching a simple skill anymore. We're training a capacity. The real goal now is to train students to exercise wise judgment through the medium of English. We're putting human decision-making, not machine-like perfection, right at the very center of learning. And that leaves us with this final thought. We are building incredible tools that can handle all the easy parts of communication. But these tools, they will never attend the meeting for you. They will never feel that awkward silence in a tense negotiation. And they will never, ever carry the weight of responsibility for what is said next. That part is and always will be up to us.